In this video, I just wanted to share the timeline event functionality where if you want to trigger an event over and over, you've got control using an add timeline in your event graph. So this is a bit of a crude example. It's a bit more funky when you stick a post-process on it, but let me run into the blueprints and show you what's going on. So in my timeline project, I have got my timeline setup actor. In my timeline setup actor, I have a timeline which you can get by adding timeline. Now, when we double click into that, ignore the first two, that's for a different video, but the spawn timeline is an event track. So you can add an event track just like that. Now I have set this to be an event track of 1 second, and I've just added a keyframe by holding shift and clicking and then setting it to 00. If you don't have a keyframe in there, it won't actually trigger the event, because in theory I could have keyframes at different time stamps and it would trigger them at those times. Coming back to the event graph, all I'm doing with that timer, which incidentally you don't need to plug into begin play or anything, it can be standalone. You do obviously have different options. I am spawning my actor spawn totem at random location on the X, Y and Z axes, and I'm just passing through a random floating range to determine the duration within that actor. That will make sense in a moment. Coming to the spawn totem, in the construction script I have just got a piece of blueprinting that sets my static mesh randomly from one of 5 static mesh that are in a static mesh array, and I'm just getting a copy, random integer in range, passing that through into the new mesh, and setting a vector parameter value on the material, which is just a 0 to 1 float in range for the X, Y, Z, effectively changing the RGB value here in my color parameter. Hence, color as parameter name. Coming back to the event graph rather than the construction script, all I am doing is, so I've just got a threshold here which says get my actor location. If it's bigger than 5,000, true, do nothing. If it's false, because I'm spawning within that -1,000 and 1,000 random float in range, it will always be false to begin with. Bring that random duration that we've passed in here, and now set that for this actor and another copy of this exact actor, taking through the duration so that in each totem they animate at the same rate, 110 units above the current location of this actor. So we've got this randomly spawning the location in the map, and then this spawning on top of each other vertically, because we're just offsetting on the z-axis. And then I've just got another timer here, which is a float timer, which is set to a length of 2 seconds, which passes through that float range from 1 to 0, thereby fading out our opacity. If that opacity falls within 0.1, then I'm saying on that condition, destroy the actor. So we're cleaning up as we are going. Just those few parameters and timelines, and we get this endless animation. Now I have set up a threshold, so if I come up to the plane, you'll see that as it gets above the plane, the actor stops replicating and fades out. So the plane's just there at the 5,000 units on the Z axis to just show you where that is. and the rest is just the post-process that's affecting the visuals. So I was trying to do things like this using the for each loop and sticking in a delay. That is absolutely not the way to go about it. For each loops fire immediately. It doesn't wait for a delay to fire the next round in a for loop or a for each loop. So use the timeline event track. So I hope that video is of use. If so, please do like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive any updates. And thank you for your support.